Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your timeless reading. If this message resonates or you find it helpful, then it's for you. And if not, no worries at all. Just leave it for someone else or return to it at a later time. Also, be sure to check out the description box for some journal prompts that I'll leave you based on this reading. Okay, let's go into your pre-shuffled oracle cards first, and then we'll clarify with tarot. You actually got quite a few oracle cards, and there is such an interesting message coming through them, so I'm really excited to tease it out. All right, so the first oracle card that came out was number 26. It's always tea time. Number 18, no need to fear. Number 15, messages for a rabbit. Number 21, the right way. And at the bottom of the deck is number 38, you are rare and free. Okay, so Spirit wants you to look at your relationship to repetition. Spirit wants you to see how repetition is actually a gateway or a portal to expansion. Now, by virtue of the fact that you are rare and free is at the bottom of the deck, that means it's in shadow. What that means to me is that there's some part of you, whether you're aware of it or not, there's some aspect of your consciousness that associates repetition with lack of freedom, repetition with lack of exploration or expansion or self-expression, lack of freedom. It's like repetition equals a cage. Repetition equals lack of progression or lack of growth. Repetition equals, a cage. Spirit wants you to take another look at that. Because through these first 4 oracle cards, the message is incredibly clear. Spirit is saying repetition is actually a portal to the highest degree of expansion. So many people get caught up in this almost like addictive loop of just throwing crap at the wall to see what sticks. You know, they're trying this and trying that, and then they're only committed to something for a certain amount of time before they don't see instantaneous results, and so they back out of it. And that, on the surface, it may seem like a lot of progress is being made because the energy is so scattered, right? There's so much movement. But in that incredibly scattered, frazzled, hyperactive movement on the surface, no depth is ever created. It is actually through repetition that you experience depth, and depth is a synonym for expansion. Okay. So I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what's going on in your lives. But maybe for some of you, you feel like you are living a repetitive life, or in some way, shape, or form, you're like doing the same thing over and over again every day. And you're starting to wonder, like, when is it going to pay off? Am I really just stagnating without realizing it? Or maybe some of you are in that like frazzled, jumping all over the place energy because you have so much resistance to living a life of repetition. I don't know. But whatever your situation is, Spirit is just saying so clearly, look at your relationship to repetition. Whatever resistance you may have to repetition, even if it's just a speck of resistance, it needs to be alchemized, because repetition is actually the gateway and the portal to the expansion that you want. Repetition is mastery. You cannot master anything unless you do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And again, on the surface, it might look like you're not moving because you're just doing the same thing. But actually, what you're doing is creating this unbelievable depth. And it makes me think of one of my favorite quotes by Pilar Lesko. She said, "You can only experience limitlessness through limitation." It's almost like repetition creates this sacred space or a container within which you can not only master your craft, your skill, whatever it is that you're doing over and over again, but you can also master yourself. You can meet yourself at new levels that people who are constantly scattered can't ever reach. I hope that makes sense. And when I was first tuning into your energy before I started to record, I saw an image of you in a tunnel. It almost looked like a tunnel that like a train would go through. It was completely pitch black and dark, and way down at the other end you could see the light, on the other side. But there was this sense of hesitation, almost like, how most people would be drawn to the light. Like, go to the light. You're almost through the dark tunnel, just keep going and then you'll emerge into the light. Rather than that feeling, it was almost like, I don't want to go to the light. I really like almost like the cave-like darkness of this tunnel. It's almost like within this cocoon or this container of the tunnel, I'm able to meet myself more deeply or explore something more deeply. And this card just makes me think of that. Maybe because it's like they're in a tunnel, it's completely pitch black. It's almost like repetition creates lack of distractions. And the darkness of the tunnel is almost like that environment, lack of distraction. So I guess ultimately this is all an invitation from Spirit to I'm hearing, be willing to meet yourself in the presence that repetition requires. Oh, I love that. Ooh, okay. Okay, let's go into tarot. I'm using the Wild Unknown Tarot for you. Show me Scorpio right now. Just show me the collective of Scorpio. What is the energy, the collective energy of Scorpio right now? It takes a certain kind of a certain level of calling, I would say, in order to be able to commit to something, truly commit to something, like indefinitely, and therefore experience the repetition. Show me Scorpio, please. Show me Scorpio. And maybe even for some of you, maybe you're not doing anything in particular over and over again. It's just that like your daily routine is more or less the same, and you might feel like bored. But boredom, oh my gosh, boredom is also a portal. If you resist the boredom, you have to let yourself be bored, right? Don't resist it. Let yourself be bored. And out of that, it's like a wellspring of inspiration can erupt. Okay. Let's see what we got. King of Wands. Five of Wands. Daughter of Swords, which is the Page of Swords. And Son of Cups, which is the Knight of Cups. I think, I don't know, but I'm getting this feeling that some of you, a lot of you are energetically asking for a more simple life. Simple, not meaning um, boring or not powerful or impactful, or simple does not mean any of those things. Energetically, what I'm seeing is that it's almost like your newfound connection to the depth of your own creative power and potential is like blasting through all distractions or chaos or that frazzled energy, and you're like emerging out the other side into a more, you want to embody this more like streamlined sort of consciousness, where it's like you're asking for the power of simplicity. That's probably the best way I could say it. That's what you're energetically asking for right now. You're desiring it into existence for yourself. The power of simplicity. It's like, oh my gosh. What's that saying? Jack of all trades, master of none, or something. And I know we can debate whether or not that's actually true, but it's kind of like that. Like, you would rather truly master something, one thing, than do 100 things okay. And again, this could be relative to something that you do, like a craft, like tarot reading or whatever. Or it could just be literally a way of being that permeates your entire life. A simple life can be the most profound life, right? This is so interesting. So what's the primary challenge that Scorpio is facing right now? Yeah, a life free of distraction. But if you're gonna actually manifest a life free of distraction, the power of simplicity, etc., then you would have to alchemize any resistance that you feel towards this concept of repetition, because that's one of the qualities of a simple life, is repetition. What's the primary challenge that Scorpio is facing? Ooh, the Magician. And the Nine of Pentacles, right? Yeah. No. Go back to this. No. Okay, no. I love how the Magician is looking over at the Nine of Pentacles. I think the challenge is quite simply your own perception. It's bringing me to this number 18, no need to fear card. Remember how powerful you are. It's this perception that hang on, I want to be very specific with this. Okay, I am hearing something very specific. It's like the challenge is to see, not just believe, but to see that wealth and abundance truly happens from the inside out. The kind of wealth and abundance that you want to create for yourself, it happens from the inside out. challenge is to believe enough in yourself that you have the capacity to create what you want. Okay, the belief, it's, okay. If I were to whittle it down to what I'm getting, which is like kind of fragmented as it's coming through, but it's almost like some part of you just does not believe that you could create something, you could create a life of such incredible abundance when it's so simple. It's almost like you're complicating power. You're complicating power. Your definition of it or your perception of it, it's not enough. It's like you're saying, it's not enough that I'm connected to source. It's not enough that I'm connected to non-physical or my higher self or my heart, my soul, my truth. Like, it's not enough that I'm just feeling good and empowered within myself. Like, that alone will not create wealth. That alone will not create abundance. I then have to like make it complicated. I have to make power complicated. I have to make manifestation complicated. So it's all just in direct opposition to the desire to live a simple life, which would mean make power simple, make manifestation simple, make creating abundance really simple. Sorry, that was came out a little bit jagged, but what's the advice? Let's wrap it up with some advice. What does Scorpio need to know or do right now? Oh. Ooh, 10 of Pentacles. 3 of Swords. Ooh, yes. 8 of Swords. That's right. High Priestess at the bottom of the deck. Okay, the first thing that came to me before I even pulled any cards, advice that's just coming from me. Do you have any role models in your life? People who have mastered their craft, people who maybe in some way, shape, or form they live a life that you aspire to. I think if you were to hone in on the daily life of those people, you'd see that they're actually living a life free of distraction, living in that way very simply. So I don't know, there's something about like role models here, rather than you just having to like hope and pray that you can make this work for yourself. Like, look to people who have done it. Look to people who are living the most powerful, impactful lives of mastery through simplicity, through repetition. But the cards that came out, 10 of Pentacles, 3 of Swords, 8 of Swords. Yes, there's a lot of pain, a lot of old, painful stories, and I would definitely say painful memories stuck within you relative to wealth and abundance creation or wealth/abundance generation. And the 10 of Pentacles can often point to family. So this is, for many of you, this is probably a story that you have adopted through beliefs that your family holds. You know, that's most often how beliefs work. We just kind of entrain with the people that are around us in childhood, right? So the advice is not only to start dissecting any resistance that you feel to the idea of repetition and simplicity, right? But to also just accept, to own the fact that you have a lot of pain and limiting beliefs relative to what is required to create an abundant life. So you might, deep down, you might believe that you can only create an abundant life if you suffer, if you struggle, if you work yourself to burnout, if your life is hectic, if you're constantly juggling 27 things at once. Whatever. There's just a lot of pain and limiting beliefs around it. So again, in order to create this incredibly profound life of simplicity that you're asking for, you just have to alchemize these patterns of resistance. You know what I mean? Okay, I hope that was helpful, or at least thought-provoking. Be sure to check out the description box for those journal prompts. They will hopefully help you to take your introspection a layer deeper. Leave any questions or comments down below. I would love to hear from you, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye.